Bill Pierce from the Outdoor Sporting Heritage Museum. Bill, how are you?
Great.
Nice
Fantastic.
to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
The friendly face that you see up at Bowinkles, and we were just talking, going to be a fun day up there today, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be up in the beer garden. Yeah, a garden with 3 feet of snow on
That's
it.
it. And as you said, we may even, well, never mind. We're talking about the Outdoor Sporting Heritage Museum. And Bill, tell us a little bit about the Sporting Museum. First off, tell us where it is and when it's open.
Well, it's in Aquasic, which is a village over in Rangeley, a short distance away. It's very near. It's right at the junction of Route 17 and Route 4, right across from the fire station.
Right from the fire station.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's well, it was built in 2010.
Yeah.
And it's paid for.
Wow.
Yeah, we've raised money to pay for it, and it celebrates the human use of our wonderful natural resources here in Western Maine, and shares our rich history.
Absolutely. What are some of your favorite exhibits that you have there?
Well, we change them up every year. We have the standards about Fly Rod Crosby, and we also have a room devoted to Herb Welch, who was truly a Renaissance man. There's a book coming out about Herb here shortly, and by Bob Hilliard. But he was an amazing guy who studied in Paris, sculpture and art. His taxidermy is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. We've got examples of that. Just a great artist. He played semi-pro baseball. Had a cup of coffee with the Red Sox.
Wow.
And he was also a world champion fly caster. He set the record in Madison Square Garden in an event of 115 feet.
Wow.
When you think about a waxed braided silk line and a bamboo rod.
Yeah.
No graphite, stretching it out that far is quite impressive.
So that's a world record.
It was a world record
What
at the
was
time.
the world record?
Yeah,
That's
at the
crazy.
time.
Huh?
But, you know, the museum has wonderful examples of Rangeley's history. Rangeley was known as, in the Western Mountains region, was known as having the largest brook trout in the world in the 1800s.
Wow.
And in fact, a professor at Harvard, who was the leading wildlife expert at the time, said that they couldn't be brook trout.
Really?
Yeah, and the Senator Fry from Maine, had an argument with him in Boston at a dinner. The professor said, you know, share your piscatorial efforts with someone else, because I happen to know brook trout don't get that big, sir. Well, the following spring, Senator Fry sent him a wooden box from Aquasic, Maine, lined with wet moss and dripping all over the desk in Harvard, and he opened it up to find a note on a 9-pound brook trout saying that it seems the good professor may have to change his textbooks.
What a great story. What a
The
great
place
story.
is full of great stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and film as well.
And film as well. So multimedia, different, that's something that you change up as well?
Yeah, Yankee Magazine actually said, a little bragging here, that we're the best sporting museum in New England. And when you consider the halls of fame and the fly fishing, National Fly Fishing Museum in Vermont, we're pretty proud of the collection.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's some great bragging rights. As we can take a look at the video that you brought with us, some of the exhibits that you'll find there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
opening May 1st.
May 1st.
And what is the span of your...
Well, in May, we open 4 days a week, Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
We go to 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday in June. And then July and August, we're open every day. We have events scheduled every Saturday. Our Saturday Summer Series will have artists, renowned artists, authors, signing books and doing meets and greets. We're opening a new exhibit about Dwight Eisenhower's 60th anniversary this year of his visit to Western Maine. And he came to fly fish up at Parmacini, where he fished for 2 days. And he did a public events and a parade through Rangeley. We have film, been doing a lot of sleuthing, film and photos. We have White House letters to his guide, Don Cameron. We've got all kinds of great stories about Secret Service agents getting lost and wanting to use their handgun on themselves because of the black flies. And, we also have a painting that was done by Eisenhower of his Rangeley guide, Don Cameron, that he presented with him with after. So a painting painted by an oil on canvas by a sitting president. In the exhibit.
Where did you find all these curious things?
The painting was actually in Indianapolis, and they really, didn't have a lot of family affiliation through marriage. It just kind of moved sideways through a family, and this wonderful family generously donated it to the museum, so it was a real homecoming.
Wow. So a lot of the things, is the museum still growing? Are you discovering things? Are people bringing stuff in? Well, this should be here.
We've only been there since 2010, and I get calls almost weekly from different places around the country saying, I've got something of Rangeley significance. The thing is, wealthy people came from all over the world. I mean, several presidents, I mentioned Eisenhower, Herbert Hoover, Herb Welch fished with him as well. A lot of famous and notable people came there. It also created a lot of really interesting people. But because a lot of wealth did come there, and it was so popular, folks had cameras and had moving projectors because they had the capacity to purchase it.
Right.
And they would have folks document their trip. So these things are coming back. Tin types, glass negatives, all kinds of stuff's coming back. It's really...
So Bill Pierce is with us, and he is from the Outdoor Sporting Heritage Museum, and we've been talking about when you're open, where you're located, and some of the great exhibits, but lots of good activities. And tell us about some of the activities that you've got on tap for this summer.
Well, if folks go to our website, rangelyoutdoormuseum.org, they'll see a big calendar of events, new exhibits, of course, that we've talked about, but we also are opening a monument on the grounds. We re-landscaped a park area out by the museum where folks can go and picnic and hang out. But there'll be a monument to the Rangeley boat. And the Rangeley boat is truly an iconic, authentic symbol of our region. Very few regions have their own watercraft. And a design was brought in 1875 from Ogdensburg, New York, and modified into something that became the Rangeley boat. And guides, like the world-famous Bob Duport of today, would have used this watercraft. And hundreds and hundreds were built in the region. It was originally called an Indian rock boat. But we're building a pavilion and information panels, like scenic byways panels, that'll give the history of the boat. And we have an example of a double-ender that's going to be right there. So that's being installed. But we also want to celebrate this wonderful boat with a regatta, an annual regatta. And we're going to start with the school kids from Stratton, Strong, Kingfield, Phillips, and Rangeley, of course. The 5 schools that normally compete in softball and baseball and such. And they're going to come and they're going to, in boys and girls teams, race Rangeley boats in 2-man rowing crews with a captain, coxswain.
Oh, awesome. And when will that take place?
That will be September 12th. But I'm working with the schools right now, and there's an art contest that'll be worth points to win the first annual Rangeley Regatta Cup. The kids are all jacked and psyched about it. I've been meeting with them, and there's going to be fly casting competitions, distance and accuracy for both boys and girls. All these will be both boys and girls events. A 1-mile road race, fly tying contest, an art contest where they paint an oar with the scene in their school colors and such. There's also canoeing races and kayak races. So it's going to be quite an event. We have a lot of organizations, Maine Professional Guides, Rangeley Friends of the Arts will be invited to judge the art contest, and the Rangeley's Guide and Sportsmen will do the food, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Wow. So do you have a lot of groups that come there?
Yes, a lot of, it's a pretty popular spot on the bus tour scene, and folks come through and have a good time, and I'm very happy and very proud to be involved with the organization and this amazing collection of our history.
Yeah, it sounds it, and growing as well.
Yeah.
And embracing the history of Rangeley, which is really rich. I mean, there's a lot that went on just that we've shared so far. So
Right.
go visit the Outdoor Sporting Heritage Museum. It opens May 1st. And visit the website as well. You can find out more about these great activities.
Sure.
Awesome.
Thanks,
for
buddy.
being here, Bill.
Much
And,
appreciated.